excuse me. Hello everyone, it's Hoo-Lee-Yah. Today I'm going to be showing you how I'm currently getting my shit together, as the title of this video says so. I currently am trying out this new way of I hope that this video can help you maybe try out something new if your time management strategy is currently not working for you, or you can just see how I do things. This is a culmination of like me experimenting on different ways that I've been managing my time like throughout college, and I found that a combination of physical writing and using Google Calendar and using Notion is something that's good for me. And today I'll be showing you how those three kind of work together. So somebody on LinkedIn actually asked me the question of how I'm able to manage doing very different activities. And it's interesting because I think a lot of people think that I have my shit together, but that is a very nice compliment. I don't. It might look like that, but in reality, my muscle for time management and figuring everything out is always a work in progress. And so this is one of the different strategies that I'm trying out, and it's been working pretty well for me. If you don't already know, I am currently in this like limbo between graduating and starting my full-time job. That being said, I also am kind of taking different small opportunities here and there to make sure that I can afford to live here. And within that span of time, I'm trying to be more intentional with how I spend my time. So this morning I wanted to share with you something that I am currently doing that has been working for me and has been making me feel a little bit more fulfilled and more aware of all the different things that I have to pay attention to when it comes to design due dates, and also just like making sure that I spend quality time with myself and other people. This is something that I made earlier this month. Yes, I'm a designer and I made a mind map. What I like to do when I'm overwhelmed with lots of ideas and lots of thoughts is create a mind map. So I thought, why not, you know, spend this time figuring out like the things that I want to do in February. And something that I noticed is that I started to split up my different to-do lists or different goals within 4 different categories. So the first big category or bucket is design, and design consists of, you know, anything that has to do with AIGA San Francisco, anything that has to do with client work, and also anything that has to do with, you know, if I have speaking opportunities during that week and commitments like that. The next big bucket is content creation. As you can see in my YouTube channel, and also if you follow me on Instagram and or TikTok, I make content as I partner and collaborate with different companies. Making YouTube videos goes under this category and overlaps a little bit with the design category. So that is the second bucket. The third bucket, which is relatively new and something I'm very excited but also very nervous about, is acting and film. Right now, what this looks like for me is self-taping for auditions, submitting to agencies, and really just garnering connections with the local film community here in San Francisco. Last but not least, the bucket that is probably my favorite is everything else. That has to do with the books I want to read, the movies I want to watch, TV shows I want to watch, people that I want to meet, you know, ways that I want to spend my time alone, all of that jazz. And so with this in mind, instead of trying to like take on this whole month of goals, I decided to dumb it down and be like, okay, let's do a week. So this is the 8th week of the year, and how am I gonna spend this week, and what are my different goals for this week? And so as you can see over here, this is what it looks like. Here's design, content creation, acting, and everything else. I kind of like categorize them in subcategories, and it might seem like really overwhelming at first to like have all of these to-do list items for you, but in reality, how it helps my brain compute is that I can easily prioritize, you know, one to-do list item over the other, and I can translate that onto my Google Calendar. So once I am finished with putting like most of my to-do lists and stuff, what I like to do is I actually put this up on a wall in my room so that I'm like aware of like, oh, I have a due date now, so I have to do this to-do list item today if I didn't already put it in my calendar. Also, something too is like some of these things, depending on how it's prioritized, are kind of reach goals, which is totally fine. I think that it's really good to be able to try to shoot higher, try to shoot for the moon and you land on your stars, something like that. As a creative, we get ideas like during the most odd times of the week, and it's just nice to write them down. And if I do have extra time to, like, let's say make a really quick reel, I will do that. This is my to-do list for the week. and I'm going to now translate it onto Google Calendar. So here's the current state of my Google Calendar. As you can see over here on my tasks, I already have my morning routine kind of written down for me, and every day I try to wake up every morning at 6. And that is, you know, a work in progress. Most of the time I try to like wake up at 6 and maybe get out of bed at like 6:30. I have my miracle morning right there. If you don't know what that is, make sure to check out my video for it. It's definitely changed my life. That is something that is pretty much a non-negotiable for me every single day. So I just keep that as a repeating block. So as you can see here, I already have some appointments written down, but most of the week is still a little bit free. And that's what I'll be using all of these to-do list items to block time into my Google Calendar. I also have some tasks at night that I make sure that I do instead of keeping like a habit tracker on a notebook that I know I'm just going to forget about. I add it here so that it can bug me if it's not crossed out. Once I'm done with, you know, adding all of my stuff in here, which I have yet to do, I go ahead and go to my Notion doc. Some people might think that this is going overboard, which, you know, I totally get. But for me, when I have time blocks, I still have to create action items or to-do list items for the things that revolve around that time block. So hear me out. For example, for that film reels block, I have a lot of reels that I want to create, and so just have a starting point, which is, let's say, film an AIGA introduction reel, like it says here, film a getting ready with me, film moments in SF reel, and then for each action, I get to check that off, and then it makes me feel really good. At the end of the day, it's really satisfying to just like cross off or check mark whatever was on that physical list that I started with. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know if you're gonna try it out, if it helped you, if it worked, if you have other tips and tricks for anybody else who might need them. And make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. And if you're not subscribed already, I would really appreciate it if you click that button. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week, and I'll see you in my next video.